for staying tuned. So watching this morning live on Metro Television, and as usual on Wednesdays we talk about relationships and family, and today we are talking about requirements for a valid marriage. You know, often we are confused and overwhelmed about these legal requirements that really is needed in marriages, because mostly we think about our wedding dress, our food, the guests that will be coming, the venue, and we don't talk about the legal stuff, the most important stuff. But then today we'll get time to talk about it here, and we have a very beautiful woman here to talk to us more about it, and she is Mrs. Susanna Afutu, law lecturer at the University, Central University Faculty of Law, and also a member of the Ghana Bar Association. So she's a very big woman, and she will talk to us more about the requirements of a valid marriage. Good morning, Ma.
Good morning,
and
Anaya.
Thanks
Good morning
for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Good morning to your listeners.
Oh, thank you very much. Let's start with the first question. What is necessary for a valid marriage?
Okay, so that's a broad question, because when you're looking at the requirements for a valid marriage, you don't just take it broadly. You need to ask yourself, what marriage type are you talking about?
Okay.
Because in Ghana, the laws of Ghana recognize 3 marriage types.
Okay.
So the laws recognize the customary marriage, which has its own requirements. Then the laws also recognize the Mohammedan or the Muslim marriage, which has its own requirements. And the laws also recognize the Ordinance or Christian marriage, which also has its own requirements. So that's the way we look at it in a
type form.
In a type form, multifaceted, if I should use that word. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll pick it one. And these laws, Ghana, we recognize it.
Exactly, yes.
So there's a customary, there's a Muslim, and the ordinance. That's more. So the customary is the traditional wedding.
Yes, the traditional, what people usually call the engagement. It's not just an engagement, it's actually a customary marriage.
That's the one which is most recognized, if I might say like that.
I wouldn't say it's most recognized, so maybe I should start with the requirements for a customary marriage. So we all are very familiar with the engagement, which is properly called in law is the customary marriage. Because what happens most of the time, even among Christians, is that even though they intend to solemnize or celebrate the marriage in church under the auspices of a licensed minister, which should be the case, they would often start with a customary marriage. So what happens for a majority of Ghanaians is that what they actually do is they start with a customary marriage and then they transform it in a couple of days or weeks into an ordinance marriage. But the truth is that the laws recognize the customary marriage simpliciter as a marriage in its own rights.
Oh, okay.
It's only that the rights that can be attached to the customary marriage are slightly different from the rights attached to the ordinance marriage. And this is because we know that in Ghana, polygamy is accepted customarily. Polygamy is accepted customarily.
In Ghana?
In Ghana. So,
under one particular marriage type or?
Under the customs of Ghana. Under the Akan customs, under the Ghana customs, customarily, it is accepted that a man can marry more than one wife.
That is new to me.
No, the customs of Ghana and the law doesn't frown upon it.
But you see, first we thought it was just maybe the Muslim.
So the Muslims can do a maximum of 4.
But for the Christians, the customary?
Christians marry 1. Ordinance marriage. A man can marry 1. So that's monogamy. So the Christian marriage or the ordinance marriage is monogamous. But the customary marriage is potentially polygamous. We use the word potentially because the man can start with 1. And under the customs, he's allowed to marry as many as he can take care of. Yes, the Quran says 4, but under the customs of Ghana, a man is allowed to marry as many women as he can take care of. So we have chiefs who have 5 wives, 10 wives is allowed under the customs, as long as you haven't registered it and as an ordinance marriage. Do you understand?
Yes, I get it now.
All right.
Yeah. So let's come back to the married type, the customary and the ordinance. Can one practice one and leave the other? maybe you do the whole traditional, then you leave the ordinance or the church wedding.
Yes. So you can decide that I just want to do a customary marriage, but you must know what you're going in for.
Okay.
If you decide that you just want to do a customary marriage, as a man, you must know that potentially you can add on to that. And as a woman, if you are married under just the customary laws of Ghana, you must know that your husband is free to add on to you as many wives as he can take care of. So sometimes people just do a customary marriage and stop there because they would say, oh, I don't have money to do what we call a white wedding.
Okay.
So if you don't have money to do a white wedding, but you are not up for a polygamous relationship with your husband, then what I would suggest you do is that you go to the Registrar General's department. After you have, celebrated your customary marriage, go to the Registrar General's department and register your marriage under the ordinance.
Okay.
All right. Okay. You go through the requirements. It's not rocket science. It's very simple. Okay. They would walk you through the requirements, what you have to do, publication of bans, whatever, and then you come along with 2 witnesses from the man's side and from your side, and you sign the certificate. So when you do that, what happens then is that you have transformed your customary marriage into an ordinance marriage. And now your husband, since he has signed that, is no longer able to marry another woman. It has now become a monogamous marriage recognized under the laws of Ghana. Okay.
Oh, that's interesting. And you can do it vice versa. You can go and sign first, then you come and do the customary.
Why would you want to go and sign? Well, you could, because the signing is, let me say, the highest form to use that word. So you could go and sign, and afterward come and have a celebration in a customary manner. Yes, you can. Okay. You can celebrate it customarily. Maybe you don't want to wear a white gown and do all that.
I know people who actually like that. That's why I'm
Yes. So you can go and sign and then come and have a party customarily with your kente and all.
Simple.
And all, yeah.
Simple. I like that. Let's talk about what is the right way to end these type of marriages. Okay. Let's talk about the customary marriage first.
Okay. So the requirements of the customary marriage, as the name implies, are governed by the customs of Ghana. Yeah. So it's not a one-size-fits-all generally. So the Ghans will have the requirements for ending a Ghana customary marriage. The Akans will have the requirements for ending an Akan customary marriage. The Gombes will have it. But generally, the thread that runs through is that the return of the drink, or the return of the woman.
Yes, that one is a bit confused, but we'll talk about that one.
The return of the drink and the return of the woman to the family. Yeah. So you return the drink, and people was, what about if the drink has been drunk? Yes, the drink has been drunk, so you buy another one. You buy another one. I mean, we all know the drink has been drunk. So you buy another one in the place of what was given, and then you return the woman, to her family. Yeah, so generally that's the process. Okay. But maybe what we should be more interested in is what would bring about the breakdown of the marriage. Yes. Every custom has what they consider to be a cause for marriage breakdown, but adultery seems to run the highest, especially adultery on the part of the woman. It seems to run through, and then sometimes you also have even if the man is stingy, in some customs, it becomes an issue, something that can bring about the breakdown of the marriage. If the woman is lazy, if the woman is dirty, yes, if the woman is dirty, if the woman is lazy, customarily, they are all grounds
to end the marriage.
To end the marriage. Ooh. Yes.
So, if the man sees these things as a problem and wants to end it, he comes back with a...
So usually, the return of the drink or the return of the woman is the final stage. But usually it will start with some mediative talks. You go and see the other family, you tell them what is going on. They'll try and resolve it. If they're unable to do so, then we have these final stages kicking in. Okay.
Can the woman vice versa say, I'm also returning
the woman, the dowry is paid for the... Yes, so she doesn't have anything to return.
Okay, so if she wants to end the marriage...
So she can also go and see her family and tell them that because of these reasons, I want to end the marriage. And those reasons she's putting forward must be reasons that are customarily recognized as grounds for ending a marriage. For ending the marriage. You can't just
use anything as grounds.
Yes, because customarily every custom has what they consider as reprehensible. Yes.
So now let's go to the ordinance.
Yeah.
What are they? What things can happen for you to end it?
Okay, so the ordinance marriage has to be ended in court. Yes. Okay. It's a very important point, because sometimes some people have an ordinance marriage. Either they got married in church, or they got married at the Registrar General's Department, or the AMA, or one of its offices. And then they think that they can end the marriage by returning the drink or returning the woman. You don't end an ordinance marriage by returning the drink or returning the woman. You need to go to court. Yes, and do a divorce before a judge.
Yeah. And this processes, how long does it take? When you are filing, in the process of saying, oh, I'm divorcing my spouse, does it also give a place where you say, oh, whilst you are getting divorced, I need this, I want this, I need this? Does it give room for that?
Yes, so certainly. So when people are getting divorced, there are issues that come up. So first of all, we're looking at ending the marriage, and then we're looking at what we call the ancillary proceedings, like property settlements. And then if there are children in the marriage, we're looking at child custody. Who gets the custody, who gets the access? Because one parent gets the custody, so the children would be either with a man or with a woman. And then the other party gets access. So they are not staying with you 100%, but you have the opportunity to visit them, and they have the opportunity to visit you.
So this one will be granted by the courts?
Yes, so the court, after it announces the marriage, or after it terminates the marriage, now determines these ancillary things like property settlement and child custody.
Hey, it'll be a long process.
It can take long, and it can be short. Usually divorce is done in camera. In court, divorce is done in camera. All right. We have seen, circulating in social media. Sometimes, as soon as a divorce is filed, then you see snapshots circulating in social media. When it happens like that, it means that somebody saw it and took pictures and circulated it. But divorce proceedings, the first instance is done in camera. But when either party is not happy with the judgment and it goes on appeal, appeals are not done in camera. So, let me just...
Now let's talk about something that is like normally trends in Ghana, but they said it doesn't happen often here. Prenup. Prenup in marriages. Are they necessary, first of all, in marriages in Ghana?
So prenups are not very common in Ghana, but it's happening. It's happening, especially amongst the elites and the very rich. It's happening, and lawyers are helping to draft it and to enforce it and all of that. So a prenuptial agreement is an agreement that the man and the woman enter into, a contract they enter into, to determine how they want their property to be, distributed, divided amongst them in the event that the marriage breaks down, in the event that there is a divorce. And the reason why it would be enforced is because it's a contract, and our courts recognize contracts, contracts that are entered into by people who are of sound mind, of the right age, and who do not enter into the contract under undue influence, under pressure. Such contracts are, recognized and enforced.
And you said gradually, it's like making its space among the elite. So right now in our law, in the Ghana law, is there something like prenup signing?
We don't have that appearing in black and white in the laws. But because we recognize contracts, and we have a Contract Act of Ghana, because we recognize contracts, prenups can come under contracts. So the laws that govern contracts and the laws that govern a valid contract will now govern a prenuptial agreement. That's the party that the woman was not coerced, she was not unduly influenced, the man was not coerced, he was not unduly influenced. There was no mistake. There was no misrepresentation.
Okay.
All of those things, we call them things that can set aside a contract. Oh. So if they are present in the prenup, they will bring about that prenup being set aside. But if they are not present, then it becomes possible to enforce it. Okay.
But will there be a time in Ghana where we have this in our law?
The question is it necessary?
Is it necessary to be in our law?
I don't think that we really need to put it. Right now, the laws that govern marriages, we call that the CAP 127, the Marriages Act. I don't think that we need to find that in there for it to be valid. Okay. Do you understand? Yes. We don't, because in Ghana, for example, we practice the common law, which is what is practiced by, Commonwealth countries. Yeah. And the common law is generally judge-made law, which means that it's judicial precedent. So we look upon past cases to determine present cases. And since we have a Contract Act, and with the help of the common law, I really don't think that we should have, a legislation on prenuptial agreements. Yes.
Wow. Because nowadays, you see, like you mentioned, the elites, people get married and they have to, their spouse are not on the same financial level as them, so they have to go into it. But then is it only about marriage, money that you put under a prenup contract? Can you put maybe outside, they put pets, their car?
People even put pictures that can be pasted on social media.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Are those things really necessary?
Oh, yes. You see, so people want to protect themselves. The reason why anybody would actually, the reason why anyone would want to execute or sign a prenuptial agreement is because they want to protect themselves. So people will put into it as much as they think concerns them, and say, okay, you cannot put pictures of us on social media, you can do this, you can do that. Okay. And because, when you look at prenuptial agreements, you need to look at it with the eyes of the law of contracts. Yeah. So whatever somebody is allowed to do in executing a contract, in writing a contract, pretty much they're allowed to do in writing a prenuptial agreement. Okay. All right.
All right. And finally, before we go, now today, I've actually learned a lot. That while I'm considering my dress, my cake, my venue, I should really, really consider these legal
requirements. Can I say just something? Okay. So when it comes to ordinance marriage, the requirements for the validity of an ordinance marriage, the marriage venue should be licensed. That is something that some people are not aware of. Not too long ago, the Registrar General was on air talking about these requirements. The marriage venue, the church venue, must be licensed by the Registrar General's department. The officiating minister must be licensed by the Registrar General's department. Okay,
so it's not anyone that can officiate.
It's not anybody. So anybody. For many people who get married in what we call one-man church, like, pardon me to use that, one-man church that, nobody knows where this pastor came from. Oh, okay. He calls himself a reverend minister. He hasn't got a license to celebrate a marriage. Okay. And yet, he's doing that. So the question is, so what's the big deal? What's the effect? The effect is that he's misleading people. Yeah. Because the people in the church, maybe he himself is even misled. He thinks he can do whatever. The people in the church are getting their marriages, solemnized under his hand. Okay. But yet, it's not valid because he's not a licensed minister. And so the effect of that is that you don't have an ordinance marriage. Okay. So you don't have the right attached to an ordinance marriage. So what you have at best is a customary marriage. And the effect of that is that your husband can add on another wife onto you and you wouldn't have a case. Hey. Yes. That's serious. That's how serious it is. Serious. Yes.
Okay. So if you want to have a garden wedding, you have to get the
what we call a special license. Okay. So you can have a wedding at a beach or in a garden, in a swimming pool, wherever. Yes, wherever you want on Mars.
Even in your house.
Even in your house. Yes. But you need to get a special license. Okay. You apply for a special license from the Registrar General's department. And then with that special license, you can now have your wedding wherever. Anywhere. And this also applies to getting married on holidays. Okay. Under the Marriages Act of Ghana, you can't get married on a holiday.
Even if it falls on a Saturday.
Okay, so if it's a holiday falling on a Saturday, then it becomes a bit contentious.
Yes.
But to be on the safe side, if you're getting married on a holiday, you need to apply for a special license.
Okay.
Okay. Then when you apply for a special license, you then have the permission to do so. But what people would usually do is that they would do the signing either in the church or in the Registrar General's department on a day which is not a holiday.
Okay.
And then they wear their white dress, do the celebration on the holiday.
Yeah.
So in the eyes of the law, your marriage took place, let's say you want to get married on 25th December, in Ghana it's a holiday. You can get a special license from the Registrar General's department and cover that process, or you can choose to register your marriage on 24th December. Then on 25th, you wear your white dress, your white gown, and go to church.
Okay.
But you know you've signed your wedding, you've done your signing already.
Yeah, wow. A friend of mine who's also a lawyer, Isaac Goba Forsman, he's telling me that we can never get married in a zoo. My name is Susanna. Thanks for coming.
Yes.
And you really thought myself, and I know people watching a lot, because we didn't really know about all these things. Ours is the dress, the food, and the venue. But then I've taken something from the venue, not anywhere. Even if it has to be in your house, it has to come with a special.
And the minister, not any minister.
Any minister, yes. Thank you very much.
All right.
And we hope to have you here again for a different conversation.
Sure.
Yeah. So we've been talking to Mrs. Susanna Afutu from the Central University Faculty of Law, and also a member of the Ghana Bar Association. You're still watching this morning live on Metro Television.
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.